All right, welcome everyone. Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Apothecary Diaries, episode 9. We went home.
We did.
Yeah.
We saw Dad.
We saw Dad. With the help of not a suitor, just, a person who, gave her a business card.
A very, very helpful business card.
A very platonic business card.
Yeah.
That's right.
And Gigi was very sus of this card and nature of visit. He's like,
And why'd you rely on him and not me?
I'm like right here. Like,
yeah,
come on,
hey, I wanted time off. I'm
mean,
literally
like,
your
allies,
boss. I'm the
like-
person to go to for that, right?
Come on. This would be great. No. Yeah, you're not.
Sorry.
You're not
that
in
close.
You're not in that
Yeah,
far, Gigi.
right.
Yeah. Despite your like
Many attempts.
and ways in which you just shut down whenever she's near. But
Sorry.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
all right, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Oh, suicide or murder? Oh, shit. Oh,
Wasn't always like this. Oh.
Nobody likes him, therefore,
Yeah.
maybe they weren't trying to kill him necessarily, but,
Oh, but nothing immediate.
Yeah. Yes.
Sir, please. I beg of you.
He doesn't. Nope.
人種と
He
いう
in
人
fact
物
did
は
not.
そのような人種という人物はおもちゃに深く執着しない
Who are you?
正しい仕事です
Focus on this, it'll make you feel better.
あの日笑い転げる玉葉妃から事の詳細を聞く身元引き受けの見返りとはスタートの面会だったという 娘にそんなつてがそして主はどんな想像をしたことやら若いって恐ろしい
Yeah. My life is just agony.
急いで仕事を終わらせていざ会いに知らぬ男と里帰りしているなんて
Yeah.
もう少し頭をひねればよい、多くの官僚は自分の利益につながる法案を通そうとする
Okay.
Makes
Right,
sense.
just filling stuff in.
仕事が増えるのは哀れに思うもう時間外だ
Someone's died.
There has been a murder.
後年殿が
じいさ
行くぞ
お偉いさんが死んじまいましたとさ。
Yep.
顔も名前も知らぬ人間に同情できるほど感傷深くない。
Sir?
年齢は急じを過ぎ。
Right. Seems pretty open and shut, right?
わざわざ次女頭を別の用事で外させたということは。
本当に死因は酒だと思うか
Well, I can't know until I.
Yeah,
So I
without
actually look
actually
at him.
checking the body.
一度に大量摂取すれば死に至る場合もあります。
大量の酒を煽ったと聞いている
それなら死にますね。
だが後年殿は酒につい
Ah, he was a legend.
He can put it away.
Yeah, he had the jars. He had the
死ん
urns.
だ男の名は後年。酒を亀ごと飲み干す豪快な武人で。よかったという。
Oh, he did have a well-liked personality.
Okay, out
So
of
is that a
point.
lie or?
I think it's just more recently that people have started not liking him.
おお、酒。
後年殿が飲んでいたものは全部流れてしまった
Gotcha.
その亀に毒が入っていたらわかりませんね。いつも通り無駄にキラキラしてればいいのに。
Now he's depressed right now.
人士様は以前よりもずっと子供のように見えて仕方ない。甘さとしょっぱさが混在している。甘みのある酒に塩味をつけているよ。
Oh.
どうした甘いだろう後年殿
No,
の
not just sweet. Yeah. Huh.
いくら上等の燻製肉や岩塩を用意しても
Oh.
And
Was he
rock
allergic?
salts?
Maybe.
だがある日
Possibly.
突然甘党になったと言っていた
糖尿になりますね。
思い出話を現実に
辛いもの好きが甘党にね。
Yeah, that is interesting.
宴の魚に塩は出ましたか？
ああ月餅と干し肉が出たそうだ
So maybe they just put salt in to spoil his drink?
Right, and it ended up killing him.
後年様の飲んでいた亀は手に入りますか？
割れて破片になっているが
They gave me the pieces. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, alright, that's enough.
調べてもらいたいことがあります。
I like where this is going. you have something where it's not necessarily murder and yet someone did die, so they
Right.
could have intended
Involuntary
harm
manslaughter
that
kind
wasn't.
of thing.
Yeah, they might have just been razzing him too, like, you know.
Sure.
酒瓶だ
Yep, there's some flecks of salt there. Yep.
舐めて平気なのか
これに毒はありません。
Yeah. Nice.
塩か
後年様はある日突然甘党になり、
Maybe his body was aware of like
あ
some
し
kind
か
of
し
nutritional
酒
need.
瓶には乾いて粒が残るほどの塩は人体に不可欠なものですが、
Ah.
溶け込んだ塩の量を考えれば、これが原因であってもおかしくは。
Gotcha. And because he was both so drunk, but also it's
塩辛いもの
alcohol,
を飲んだら普通は味
he
で
wouldn't have
気づかな
necessarily
かった
tasted
ので
it.
す。後年様の生活習慣について書かれている。
Oh, he stopped being able to taste?
Yeah.
それがわからなくなってい
Yeah.
たと。
Okay.
後年という男はストイックな性格だったようだ。
So you wouldn't tell people about this kind of stuff like
Sure.
more directly.
そしてずいぶん前に妻と子を流行り病で
Oh
亡くし
shit.
た。
Okay.
それからは仕事一筋。
Yep.
唯一の
And
楽し
just
みが
drinking to numb
Yeah.
the pain. Yep.
Okay.
味覚がなくなる病があります。食の偏りやストレス、その負荷は病へ変わってしまう。
Okay.
一体誰が酒瓶に塩を入れたのだ
Well, someone at the party, but
これを調べるのは私の仕事ではありません。昨日いただいた酒にも塩は含まれていました。血の酒が口に合わない人間が魚に出た塩を入れたか、真面目な人間を毛嫌いする者は多いです。ちょっとした嫌がらせのつもりで気に入らない人間の酒瓶にいたずらを仕掛けたの。なのに相手が平気な顔で飲み続けるので加えてやろうと思うかもしれない。
right, that's not motive and intent to
Yeah.
murder. That's
It's the come on, our prank isn't working. Shit.
ここまできっかけを与えたなら犯人を教えたも同然なのに、私は誰かが罰せられる直接の原因になりたくない。黒曜石の房飾り。
Mm.
何服しているのか。そんなに立派な方だったのです
Yeah.
か。
小さい頃世話になった
普通の青年のようだ。
Yeah, you're seeing the soft,
この人
Right.
は一応人間なんだな。
normal side of him.
The
Yeah.
side of him separate from work.
And the
his-
childish ridiculousness.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
例だ
Ah,
ひょっと
more sake.
あ昨日のものとは違うが
Oh, oh,
ありがとうございます。
All right, our Momo's an alcoholic.
yes. I found
感謝して
something
い
you
るから見
like.
えないが
それよりも真面目にお仕事なさっこの反応はサボってるな。血に終わらせては。
What is
あ
this?
Yeah.
そういえば
You work?
Shifts away from her.
年若い者が酒に溺れるのを防ぐために年齢制限をつけるべきだと
Oh, what evil?
酒は20歳になるまで禁止せよ
Ah! Surely you would.
Don't.
天使様、
You wouldn't do something so heinous.
それ絶対に通さないでください。
Because then I'll have to admit I'm over 20.
私の一存では何もできない
人士様。
Nice.
Uh,
What?
oh shit. Whoa. I mean, gorgeous, but like,
But, that's a problem. 2 deaths in 1 episode.
冬場で良かったですね。水死体の割には綺麗な姿です。
oh, the water was so cold. Yeah.
Yeah, basically just froze her.
外の堀に浮いていた。学校から高級の下女に間違いないだろう。
検視すべき医者がこれとは全く
Yeah, it's
もっ
not
と
exactly
やぶである。
helpful.
嬢ちゃん、
ダメです。死体には触るなと言われているので。
Ah.
ごきげんよう、人士様。
死体に触れられないのはなぜだ
薬の師匠に言われているから。
Smart.
人間も薬の材料になるから。
Yep, yep.
好奇心旺盛なお前のことだ。一度でも手を出したら墓荒らし。絶対に一線を越えるんだ。
Okay, fine. I
That
mean,
is amazing.
the actual reason is because it'll become the necromancer
Yeah,
diary.
yeah, exactly.
わかりました。
Oh my god.
硬い木の靴。片足には包帯、指先は真っ赤。水の中は
Yeah.
冷たかっただろうな。
衛兵の見解では昨夜塀に登りいわゆる投身自殺だろうとどう思う
That's like one of the worst ways to die because drowning. You know?
Yeah, drowning is terrible.
Yeah. Like,
壁にはしごはなく、登るための道具もなかったからです。
Sure.
yeah, someone had to have helped her get up there.
道具がないと無理というわけ
Or she came in at an entrance that'd be natural to the...
Yeah, had access to the walls.
道具を使わずとも登ることはできます。幽霊騒ぎは覚えていますか？
Sure.
不要費の件か
で不要費が外壁に登ったのか疑問で、職人が利用したと思われる突起を見つけたのです。
Okay.
大抵の女性は難しいでしょう。あの下女のような
Ah,
転足のもの
right.
Gotcha.
And that's more evidence that...
足が小さいほど美しいとされる風習だ。高級でも特有の歩き方をたまに見かける。
他殺だというのか
それはわかりません。生きたまま堀の中に落ちたのは
Okay.
這い上がるために何度も
Yep, the
堀を
red
越え
fingers.
Yeah,
Yep.
sure.
死体の指先
Yep.
が赤く血に染まっていました。
Damn.
自殺か他殺か。
It's hard to tell because most people don't want to die when they're dying.
Yeah, exactly.
But
And then there's also the possibility of an accident. But
自分から命を絶とうとは絶対に思わない。他人から殺されるのも真っ平だ。薬も毒も試せない。
sure, but thinking hypotheticals,
も
what
し
would
自
it...
分が死ぬとする
Yeah,
な
if you were, would you go quietly? Would you resist?
らどんな毒にしようかと。
死ぬ気か
そうもありません。人はいつ死ぬか分かりません。他人の悪意が加わることで不本意な死を遂げることがあります。光年様のように。抗うことはできない。
Whoa. Fun.
oh. Yeah, maybe we don't need a solution to the mystery, you know? It's just something that makes them think.
So many.
もし私を処刑する場合、毒殺にしていただけませんか？
Nice.
なんでそうなる
もし私が何か粗相をした場合、
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a more sobering aspect to your, you know,
Situation.
boss-employee relationship.
早速粗相をしてしまったのか。縛り首でも斬首でも文句は言いません。
いやだからなんでそうなる
Just thinking about life and death.
些細な失敗で簡単に吹き飛ぶ命です。
Tiniest
そんな
thing.
ことはしない
するしないではなく、面倒なことを言ったみたいだな。ご用が済んだのなら、
I like how quickly she had that answer of that it's not a wood, it's a can. Nice.
Cool. This episode's got a lot in it.
Yeah.
風の噂に聞いたのは、園遊会の毒殺騒ぎの場にいたことだった。それらしい遺書も見つかり、自殺ということで事件は幕を閉じた。
Okay.
But is it possible they were actually killed because they
実の報告がようやく
one of the,
届
they were one of the people involved in the
物
situation
を
at the
探せと言っ
party?
てから2月も経っている時間のかけすぎだ一体誰だ
け意外と大物でしたフォンミ
Okay. Okay.
祝妃アード王妃の次女頭だ
Fun.
Okay.
下がってよいアード王妃
All right.
Okay. We have progress in the main story.
Yep.
We covered the concept of death and how quickly it can come from the most innocuous little things.
And then it also tied that into the whole like power dynamic issue with any romance between the two of them.
I mean, yeah, they don't have any romance yet. But
Well, there's a one-sided.
yeah, but it's not between them. It's just bubbling on one side.
No,
you know,
sure. That's a. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't dig up bodies. I know how much you'd love to.
And if you ever touch a body, you won't be able to stop. So I'm just gonna set a boundary there.
There's a
Hard line.
fine, okay. I love the idea that it's like, no, you don't realize how amazing the human body is for being a petri dish for ingredients. It's not about there being some like allure of the bodies themselves. It's that you'll find such good stuff. You'll be like, Wait, we could just harvest the corpse. Like,
We can make some corpses even.
There's gonna be so much good stuff. Yeah. We could just kill some people, and you know, then the apothecary becomes the poisoner specifically to feed their stock of stuff. Okay. All right. We know the answer, at least for now. Lady Aduo, the pure consort, the one who was potentially jealous of Lady Lishu because of being the previous emperor's consort.
Yeah, right, because they've got beef. Okay, makes sense.
They got old family beef. Yeah.
And she has plausible deniability in that it is possible that it's just an action taken by her head lady in waiting.
But I think she'll
without
be
her knowledge.
punished either way, right?
I think
you can't just assume.
Right, because you could easily say that it's the this is theoretically indirectly as a result of your actions of stuff that's said behind closed doors of like, oh, how you hate each other or whatever.
Or even forget all that. This happened at all. Therefore, you have, your lady in waiting is, needs to be put to task here. What are you going to do about that?
This is like we got some very fun developments for the future of the show. I'm excited to see how we get into that. I like that it's something that took a while for them to figure out.
Yes, I agree.
Because this is like, this is not exactly a modern society where you can have information travel quickly and all that stuff, right?
Or information get understood quickly.
Sure, exactly. And then in the midst of that, we have some other things that are happening, but they don't end up being like fully mystery resolved, right? It's more backdrop stuff of, okay, here's some things that probably happened, just sort of showing like Mao Mao's daily life. And then, we talk about like how that could be upset at a moment's notice. And here we go, something that upsets the status quo, if not necessarily her life. Yeah, I'm curious to see what will happen as a result of this with Aduo and her head lady in waiting, because the like talk of like execution for commoners was brought up, but I wouldn't think that would necessarily be done too quickly for people in higher positions of power. But
well, it's the difference between being executed or having a hand cut off. There's ways you can punish that don't involve immediate death. But there's also you're just getting thrown out of the palace.
And this is not
And
this is not the going against wishes and continuing to use makeup because you're being dumb and not realizing that it's poisoning the person or giving someone something that you don't know they're allergic to.
This is very clear.
This is the
poison.
Actually trying to poison somebody. That's a bit problematic.
Right, and given that we know that there's a whole, weird family tree set up here between Lishu and Aduo and where they'll set this up, there's ways in which they can still pull twists out of this long after we've revealed, who we've found to be someone that has the burn marks on their hands.
Right.
Because that points us in a direction, but that doesn't necessarily give us everything.
Did you get the sense that they were implying that the person who died in the river, since they were at the garden party, was theoretically like connected to this whole thing,
It's
and that's
too
why they
tangential.
were killed?
No. What did you think made them imply that?
They were talking about it being a suicide or a murder, and it's like, okay.
Well, yes, because it's someone that died.
I didn't know that. And so the idea that they're like, okay, well, we don't really see how it could be a suicide, and then directly after we bring that up, then we continue the plot line of, there was an attempted murder at this garden party, it didn't work. And hey, this person that died, like, we're going to specifically mention that they were at that garden party, right? Like, there were people that we didn't know were involved in that whole situation,
But, like, where do you think they're showing here that they don't think it was a suicide?
Because they're like, well, how would she have gotten up on the wall? Right? Like...
Well, yeah, but it's the difference between it being, like, you had someone else involved versus, actually being a murder. There's difference.
There is absolutely a way that you could have someone else involved in a suicide.
Yeah, and they don't even need to know it's a suicide. Just, can you help me get up the wall? Can you open the door for me? Because how does anybody get up on the wall? Well, the guard does it, right? I just think it's something where you could find many situations where it's not necessarily murder just because somebody else, was involved with helping them get up the wall. But we also specifically have her make the point that it is actually possible to, do the scaling of the wall. It's just that she has the bound feet. So
so it's very unlikely.
Very unlikely
that she did that. Yeah. Right. We don't know anything, and so we're going based on, inferences based on, evidence, but, it's nothing concrete, of course.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything concrete. I think the part that's more, chilling is the idea that regardless of whether she was killed or she killed herself, or murdered or killed herself, she struggled even at the end there.
Right.
The idea that nobody wants to die. Nobody knows necessarily what it's going to feel like to die, and is going to have their body just be like, okay, I'll just accept it. No,
right.
You'll go thrashing. You'll go in some ways violently.
And in a lot of ways,
nobody wants it. Yeah.
I could see the reason that Mao Mao was like, I would want to be poisoned, not just because she has a thing for poisons and all that, but because there's an element of finality to it, right? Once you ingest the poison, right, you've been poisoned, it's in your system, right?
Yeah.
You're done, right? It's not something where theoretically you could climb out, right? It's that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. Because I get the feeling that what probably shook Mao Mao there is seeing that sign of the struggle, and then getting that glimpse into how terrifying that must have been,
Right, because we had 2 deaths this episode. We had 2 different corpses that were being observed here. We didn't really observe Cohen, the minister.
No.
But his didn't really need to. But the idea of both of these people didn't necessarily know they were going to die. Both of these people went about their daily life, were just doing their stuff or what have you. We have one that was most likely an accident. It wasn't necessarily a murder. But, it's not important as to who it was, because it's the thing of, that they found out probably who it was, and it was resolved.
It's not relevant to Mao Mao's story.
Exactly. It's not relevant to her story. But then with this girl, it still could be relevant because of the garden party, like you're saying.
Yeah.
But then also it could be just no, for whatever reason, she could have been suffering. She could have been just in agony. The whole situation that they're in is probably not necessarily the best one. And hey, maybe there was something that she knew, she was being threatened or what have you.
Sure.
But regardless of whether that's the case, the idea that she got up on the wall with help, I think, is probably the biggest thing that supports your theory. But it's not conclusive. It's the kind of thing where the fact that the episode didn't go into it is either because, like you're saying, there's something that's going to be revealed later, or it's that in this episode we're actually focusing almost entirely on it from the philosophical perspective of how do we as living people make preparations for death.
Right.
Because no one wants to do that. Most people want to just forget that death is a thing that's inevitable. They're just like, I don't think about that. I just live my life, and then if it happens, it happens. But
in
there's
Mama's
things you
case,
can do.
She was able to not really think about it much, right? She's able to be around corpses just fine.
She's able to just poison and just
yeah, exactly. And then all of a sudden something happens one day where it's a bit different. She starts rethinking things. You know? It adds some uneasiness into the dynamic with her and Jinshi, right?
Yeah.
And I love that, regardless of whether there's a romance or not or whatever, their dynamic has changed now as a result of that. That is some information that Jinshi did not have as far as being fully aware of what it would be like to be in her situation. And, it doesn't matter whether or not I believe that you would never do that. The fact that you can is enough, and that's something I have to deal with, and that does not go both ways.
Right.
You do not have to deal with that. You have never really had to deal with that.
Yeah, probably not.
And so, that's a thing. That's a nice little complication that we have here. And as a result of this event that, could be as completely innocuous as just a random suicide or whatever.
Sure,
right?
yeah.
the status quo is now changed because of that, even if not because of like main plot stuff.
Right, and because of my response to it, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's fun for a story perspective thing, but also it's fun from a character perspective side of things, because Mao Mao is one that kind of has held two things in tandem. The idea of, I'm going to stay low, I'm not going to,
Draw attention
draw
to
attention to
myself.
myself.
Yeah.
But then, two, I am also a bit blunt of a person. So if I speak at all, I can end up actually drawing way too much attention to myself.
Right,
And
like-
so that idea of having to figure out, okay, how do I stand up for myself or do things overtly that actually actively lower my chance of getting, brought into that limelight without, it
and
being the instrument of doing that, yeah.
And we end up getting things as a result of that, of like her backpedaling and being like, no, actually, you know what? If you hang me or behead me or whatever,
Yep.
I won't complain,
Whoops,
right?
I might have just stepped in it there.
Yeah. I did an oopsie, and and she ends up doing, like continuing to step in it as she's trying to get out of it, which, I definitely don't relate to. The times when you say something that's a bit of a faux pas, and then you're like, oh, whoops, and then you try and fix it, but that's just like, nope, that isn't helping.
It makes it more obvious.
Yeah, because now she's basically like there was a theoretical insult in a way to Jinshi
Sure.
that
Yep.
I'm considering the possibility that you could end up ordering my execution. Initially, it's the more just insensitive, like, hey, you might just have to do it, right?
Yeah.
Right? So hey, at least do it this way. And then it's the no, I'm gonna continue to focus that in a lot of ways, make it seem like I think that's a higher probability, like, yes, that
Do you have a reason that you think that I would
Or-
want to do that? Yeah.
or that that me talking about like, no, that's not gonna, that you're completely just like, nah, that I'm not considering that, right? It doesn't, like, whatever my opinion is of you and whatever you think my opinion is of you, well, it looks like it's getting lower, but
Right, and it also insults the idea that he's like, no, I would actually never do that. If you go for the logical thing of, yes, it's right that you can, it's the potential, what you're also saying is you've now disrespected his opinion and way in which he's brought this forward here.
Sure.
Basically saying, I don't care what you think. And it's
Right.
like, oh, shoot, he's your boss. You are
Yeah.
kind of needing to be respectful here. Otherwise...
no, but she's saying I don't care what you think in the way of the, yes, whatever you say goes, even if you decide to chop my head off or hang me.
That's
or,
not what she was saying, though. That's she wanted to prove that she was right about something, and thus he kind of shut down and was like, "I'm not talking to you right now." So that'll be fun.
That's interesting. That
Yeah.
that was not how I saw it at all.
Well, I mean, in some ways, I think that her act was a risky one because that's why she thought. I mean, obviously, we know that he likes her enough that he doesn't see a version of himself doing this.
Right.
But the fact that she has this little insubordinate side of herself where it's the don't contradict your superior. Don't do that kind of stuff.
That's part of what he likes about her.
That's part of what he likes about her,
Yeah.
right? But it's the no, I really need you to hear this, and have this point driven home, Jinshi. This is the way that things are. Don't try and deny that just because
Exactly.
you might like me.
And that's why I think he ended up going quiet there, is not because it's the, oh, okay, I'll just go quiet then. It's the, yeah, there's nothing I can say here, right?
Oh, yeah. But I think it's never always, it's never always, there's always some other aspect to it. It's never always just, I can't even use those words. That's so weird. I feel like there's times where we focus so much on it has to be one thing, and the reason why people say things, but it's usually some combination. And I'm pulling at the one that's the lower chance of it.
Okay.
But it's you obviously have nothing, more that you're wanting to have a conversation with about this. You just wanted to say your thing and being a little disrespectful, but I don't care enough to make a point about it, Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, this sets up fun plot stuff. Excited to see where that goes. Given that we got back to this relatively quickly after the garden party, I'm curious if this is going to be something that more or less continues through to the end of this cour. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, well, we're definitely going to be following up on the Ottawa situation, and that's going to take
Right,
at
that's
least,
probably gonna take
at
a
least
bit.
multiple episodes. So,
Yeah.
y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So, yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.